Some local business people scolded for not participating in a central bank survey. Barbados' current tourism formula seen as the right one to boost winter arrivals. Significant growth expected in the rum market this year. And in sports, men's hockey captain scores 4 goals as Barbados outplay El Salvador at the CAC.
Broadcasting from our studios in the Pine St. Michael, this is CBC NewsNight, starting now.
Good evening, I'm Pearson Bowen. Some business people have been chided for not participating in a central bank survey because of how the findings can help to navigate the economy. Wendy Burt tells us that Minister in the Ministry of Finance, Ryan Strawn, speaking at the Barbados Coalition of Service Industries Breakfast Business Forum 2023, told the gathering that from a policy perspective, government must be able to track what's happening in the economy.
The Barbados Coalition of Service Industries has been reminded of the role its members can play in helping map out economic strategy for Barbados. Minister in the Ministry of Finance, Ryan Strawn, says key areas of investment can be identified if they participate in initiatives like the Central Bank's Balance of Payments Survey.
Practitioners within the service sector, as well as government, can then mobilize domestic and regional financing resources to see how we can scale up not just what you're delivering in Barbados, but effectively how we are going to get the service delivery to be global, such that the foreign exchange will flow back in the same way that as tourists arrive, and that generates a certain amount of activity in the economy.
The issue of modernizing the sector has also been raised, and the digitization of business systems is vital to the process.
The impediment now is to get the private sector, no matter where you are in the private sector, to modernize and digitize the way that you deliver your business. Because as the banks have made the investment in terms of bringing the digital platforms to you, the adoption of that now is really going to how quickly businesses adopt that technology is going to make a huge difference. Now, equally, we've said we cannot rely solely on the traditional correspondent banks. Therefore, you've seen us make very specific efforts to work with the African Exim Bank and others because at the end of the day, if we are going to diversify economically, then we can't only be doing business with Europe and the United States.
President of the BCSI, Wendell Cumberbatch, says the full potential for growth and diversification has to be unleashed by embracing innovation and fostering entrepreneurship.
Economic diversification is not just a choice. It is necessary. In today's rapidly evolving global economy, countries must adapt to changing trends, technologies, and consumer demands. By expanding and diversifying our services sector, we can reduce our reliance on traditional industries, mitigate vulnerabilities to external shocks, and create a more resilient and sustainable economy.
The BCSI celebrates 21 years this year, and its Chief Executive Officer, Michelle Smith-Mears, says they're committed to creating the enabling environment for businesses to thrive locally, regionally, and internationally. Wendy Burt, CBC News.
A former tourism minister is confident that Barbados has now concocted the right formula to register a significant increase in visitor arrivals for the upcoming winter tourist season. After seeing firsthand the efforts of the Barbados Tourism Marketing Incorporated on the ground, Barbados Ambassador to the U.S. and Organization of American States, His Excellency Noel Lynch, strongly believes there will be a further rebound for the island's tourism sector in coming months. Speaking exclusively to CBC News, Ambassador Lynch explains the BTMI has been able to address some outstanding issues, chief among them, getting people on planes flying into Barbados.
There was a period when people were complaining a lot about the price of the actual tariff to be able to get a seat coming into Barbados. I think that is being resolved. The other issue that the team has been working on is working with the intermediaries to see how best we can get not only more airline seats available for people to come into Barbados, but advertising and promotion, because the people that really make a difference, and I don't think a lot of people recognize this, the tour operators are still responsible for maybe 85% of the people coming into Barbados. And I believe that the relationship that the Barbados Tourism Marketing Inc. has created with those intermediaries, Expedia and the like, to be able to get people to come to Barbados is making the difference.
Another concern, according to Ambassador Lynch, has been the quality of hotel rooms on offer in Barbados. That, he says, has been addressed.
There was a period of time when there was a talk about some form of mismatch between what you actually got on the ground and what was the perceived value. But I believe that opening up of the Wyndham, the Sir Lloyd's Castle Hotel, I believe that the refurbishments that have gone on and what the government has been able to do to allow people to be able to get more quality rooms in Barbados has started to make a difference.
German carrier Condor Airlines is returning to Barbados. The airline and the Barbados Tourism Marketing Incorporated have announced the return of Condor, connecting Frankfurt with the island. Chairman of the board of the BTMI, Shelley Williams, issued a statement following the development. She notes Germany has traditionally been the stronger market for Barbados within the European bloc. Tickets are already on sale. The BTMI also completed a successful tour of England, Scotland and Ireland, meeting with top travel partners, including tour operators, travel agents and airlines, to assess Barbados' position in the market and explore opportunities for increasing business. Additionally, local tourism officials are confident that Barbados is in good standing with the UK market for the upcoming winter tourist season. And Barbados is ready to act as a bridge for Vietnam to strengthen ties with Caribbean countries. This message was conveyed by Prime Minister Mia Amor Motley during her meeting with her Vietnamese counterpart Pham Minh Chinh in Tianjin. The two were in China for the World Economic Forum's 14th annual meeting of the New Champions, also known as Summer Davos. Ms. Motley, during the meeting, spoke highly of Vietnam's socio-economic development, especially its success in controlling COVID-19. Ms. Motley expressed a hope that the two sides would continue to create conditions and frameworks for enhancing bilateral cooperation in trade, investment and tourism, while maintaining close coordination and mutual support at the international organizations and multilateral fora, especially at the United Nations. Prime Minister Chin, for his part, suggested that Vietnam and Barbados work closer together to soon sign cooperation documents, including one on visa exemption for diplomatic and official passport holders, and create a legal corridor for economic, trade and investment cooperation. Barbados wants regional utilities to collaborate in key areas of water and wastewater management. The call from Acting Prime Minister Cynthia Bradshaw came at the opening of the 7th Caribbean Operators Conference at the Lloyd Erskine Sandiford Centre. She notes regardless of size and progress, the region must ensure there is continuous development and strengthening of skills and abilities. Ms. Bradshaw, who is Barbados Minister with responsibility for water resources, says the region's human resources must become more innovative and processes strengthened.
We're in a fast-paced era where many things are fast changing. Even though some limitations may prevent us from always being on the cutting edge of technology, there's absolutely no excuse for us reneging on joint regional initiatives that see us pooling resources, whether human, financial, inventory, or otherwise. And there's clear evidence of consistent cooperation between the water and wastewater establishments and other agencies within individual countries. The next step, therefore, should be fostering consistent cooperation within the region, and we can only grow stronger together.
We'll take a break here, but coming up, we'll share with you what to expect at Saturday's ceremonial delivery of the last canes. Saturday's ceremonial delivery of the last canes promises to be an extravaganza not to be missed. The event, which was launched recently with Digicel as its title sponsor, will be going to a different venue, as we hear from Chief Cultural Officer of the National Cultural Foundation, Andrea Wells.
Under the theme, Sugar Reimagined, the Digicel ceremonial delivery of the last canes and vintage Calypso tent promises to be one of the most exciting festival launches in recent history. Saturday's event is an exciting mix of color, drama, music, culinary fare, craft, culture, and homage, all taking place at a newly refurbished location in the north of the island.
Chief Executive Officer of Digicel, Natalie Abrams, says the Love Cropover theme embodies the essence of their support for the festival and has a special place for many.
Barbados, with its rich cultural heritage and warm, welcoming spirit, has embraced Digicel as more than just a telecommunications company. We are an integral part of the tapestry of this nation, a part of its history, its present, and its promising future. Cropover is integral to the fabric of our community, and supporting the festival allows us to actively engage our community, support and build stronger connections, and give back.
And a number of tokens were presented to Miss Wells by Digicel before Ambassador Mikey performed his 2023 hit All Over, and even the rain could not stop the jam as they all prepare for the traditional launch of this festival and vintage tent on Saturday at Hayman's. Well, there's been positive feedback on the two Calypso tents featuring the island's junior Calypsonians to help them prepare for the Junior Monarch competition. The semi-finalists in the Scotiabank Junior Monarch competition across the two categories presented their material in the two tents at the Queen's Park Steel Shed before they'll face the judges at the semi-final set for this weekend, July the 2nd. The finals are set for Saturday, July the 15th at the National Botanical Gardens at Waterford. Cultural Officer for Music Education at the NCF, Kevin Moore, says there's been a marked improvement in the performers after mentorship sessions.
We have another mentorship session that was supposed to be yesterday, but due to the weather, we had to shift it, so that will now be tomorrow in preparation for the semi-finals. So the texts have been going well. The audience enjoyed it. The students and contestants performed their hearts out, and it's going great, man.
Semi-finalists Kadarius King K. Allen, Rashad King Chad Applewhite and Renisha Stewart shared insight into their songs and performance on Morning Barbados.
My performances have been going well, and my song is dedicated to children who lost their parents due to gun violence.
I would say, I'm improving a little bit. Still got more work to come, but improving a little bit. But my song is mainly about me and my vision, to let people know that even though you're visually impaired, you can still, jump just like anybody else.
I am a little nervous, but I know that I have to do my performance bigger and better.
In other news now, Education Minister Kay McConney has been paying tribute to former Prime Minister Sir Lloyd Erskine Sandiford on his passing. During his political career, he once served as Education Minister.
Our Ministry of Education, Technological and Vocational Training, we all join with the rest of Barbados as we mourn the passing of Sir Lloyd Erskine Sandiford. He was many things to this country, including our fourth Prime Minister. He was also a former Minister of Education. And in fact, his work and his contribution will be remembered through the establishment of the Barbados Community College and the tremendous work he has done there to lift the profile and the reputation of that institution. We will all miss him.
And former Prime Minister of Jamaica, P.J. Patterson, has also paid tribute to Sir Lloyd. He says the former leader was destined for greatness as a scholar and leader from the moment he set foot on the Mona campus of the UWI in 1956. He hailed him as a man that put the national interest of Barbados first in all the decisions he made. Mr. Patterson described Sir Lloyd as a man that worked in a calm style in his efforts to build a caring society. The good news is that Damien has survived the dramatic weather of last night to make it into the sports world. Damien, good evening to you.
Yeah, good evening to you, Pearson. You're right on. Good evening to our viewers and listeners. Well, the Barbados men's hockey team delivered in fine style today, demolishing El Salvador by 14-0 to capture their first win at the 2023 Central American and Caribbean Games hockey competition. Ably led by Captain Akeem Rudder, who dominated the scoring with a beaver trick, Barbados secured a comfortable 3 points in their first Pool A match against the CAC Games hosts. Rudder opened his account with a goal in the 6th minute before scoring again in the 20th, 22nd and 41st minutes. 4 other Bajans would complete a brace: Chris Holder, Shea Roach, Justin Catlin and Cody Gibson. Afterwards, Rudder said he was proud of their opening performance.
My performance, I'm very happy with it. I think I took the opportunities that I had. Very happy with Team Barbados. I think, yeah, we came out and we didn't have a good first quarter, but then we picked it up for the rest of the game. And yeah, we just executed today, and I'm very, very proud of the boys.
Meanwhile, in surfing, top local competitor Chelsea Tuat is into the final of the women's shortboard after winning today's round 3 heat with a score of 14.70. Jacob Burke didn't make the Rapid Charge final in the men's shortboard after finishing 3rd in round 3. And in swimming, Adara Stoddard didn't reach the final of the women's 200-meter individual medley after finishing 15th overall in the heats. Well, one of Barbados' best netballers is to have her name and image displayed nationally by the Ministry of Sports. Latonya Blackman will have a billboard erected in her honor, as announced yesterday by Minister of Youth, Sports and Community Empowerment Charles Griffith.
I have been toying with some ideas I was suggesting here because of the sporting complex. We were looking at the Grantley Adam Airport, so when persons enter this country, they will see. But that is our tribute to you, and I hope that your daughter and the others in netball will cherish what we are looking to do. This is a small replica, so this is in tribute to you. I have asked for some adjustments, but I guess this is, because we need to see you in a prominent way in this. But this is our gift. I will want to thank those who came forward and readily decided, yes, that we're going to sponsor this because you deserve this and more.
The billboard, sponsored by COB Cooperative Credit Union and the Child Care Board, will have the image of Blackman and will promote the message, "In netball, we shoot for excellence, no place for violence." Blackman was emotional in dedicating the honor to her mother, who passed away earlier this year.
Everything that I have accomplished in netball, my mother was always proud of me, always beside me. She pushed me for everything, even if she always tell me even get to go and play for money or play in New Zealand elsewhere. She's proud of me because I made her feel like I belong out there with those people. And I'm just happy that my daughter was able to make it on the 16 team. My mother received every phone call as she progressed through the under 16. I didn't receive any. My mother had all the phone calls, and she was so happy to know that Kenya was going to represent Barbados. And I just want again to say thank you all very much. We really appreciate it.
Well, Blackman has a whopping 170 national caps and will be adding to that when she goes to a record 6 World Cup next month in South Africa. Now, Sports Minister is hoping she will continue to play after that tournament.
I suspect, like many sports people, that you'd have walked through the fire on several occasions, but you came out at the other end as the best steel. And what we're about to do this evening, like I said, is something that you deserve. I'm hoping, like the doc would have mentioned before, that you continue. I saw Venus Williams at 43. Still got a wild card entry into Wilmington this year. And I want for you not only to be involved in the sports at that level, but to pass on your skills and knowledge to others. And like I said, I'll ensure that that happens.
Well, Kamal Cumberbatch and Megan Best lived up to their top billing by winning the recent Barbados Squash Association Masters tournament. Playing at Marine Gardens, Cumberbatch outplayed number 2 seed Sean Simpson in the men's final, while Best overpowered Margot Prow to win the senior women's crown. senior women's final of the Barbados Squash Association Nationals. Top-seeded Megan Best in fluorescent green versus second-seed Margot Pro. Pro into the 10-point to Best here. She leads 9-3. Best was dominant in this assignment, showing great court awareness. Now just one away from wrapping up the second game. The crowning moment, Best with the drive. Pro out to sea, 11-5 in the first game, 11-3 in the second. Best one away from the title. In the third now, Best with the serve. Pro with the drop shot. Best recovers with one of her own. This was eye candy placement from Best left. Pro with no room to respond, 3-1. There were a few shining moments for Pro. Good rally building, creates some space as Best is forced towards the glass, and the shot to wrong foot Best is superb. The crowd loving it. But this matchup only lasted 28 minutes, and Best would eventually record the 11-5, 11-3, 11-5 victory over Pro to secure the senior women's title. Well done. Before we get to the senior men's showdown, Mark Jilks to the right of screen got past Marlon White to win the over 50s title, 13-11, 11-9, 11-4. Then it was all about the Titanic clash, featuring Sean Simpson in the red trunks versus Kamal Cumberbatch. Simpson, guilty of a few errors early on, into the 10, tried to execute the drop shot. Cumberbatch would snatch the first game at 11-4. His quick footwork versus the wingspan of Simpson, proving to be a perfect foil. There were clear indicators that Cumberbatch was in the zone. Stand and deliver. The crowd appreciative of the articulation. Simpson found himself in a deep hole, with Cumberbatch taking the second as well. Those booming drives recovered, and a plan of attack ensued along the right wall. No room for Simpson to swing the racket. There was the odd occasion where Simpson outfoxed his rival. A subtle change of speed, catching Cumberbatch on his heels. But no need to panic. Cumberbatch went back into the goodie bag to move one away from the victory. 11-4 then in the second. Mere formality in the third. Match point at 10-6. Cumberbatch sealing the senior men's title in 3 straight. 11-4, 11-4, 11-6.
Well, we can report in business tonight that there has been a resurgence in the demand for rum since the COVID-19 pandemic. The revelation came from Chief Executive Officer of the West Indies Rum and Spirits Producers Association, Von Rennick, after their recently held annual general meeting. He told the Business Report rum is the largest non-mineral export product of CARICOM, and significant growth is expected in the rum market in coming years.
Following COVID, we saw a big resurgence in demand in 2021, slight dip in 2022, but all of the signs are that business is going to be good in 2023 and going forward. The market for rum is exciting. Internationally, we see people testing premier spirits and looking for new experiences. There's data that the rum market is going to grow by about 50% over the next 7 years, and that's good news for us.
The WERSPA official says coming out of the AGM, they would be seeking assistance from the CARICOM Secretariat as they would be looking to add new markets, and he gave some details.
China, India, new growth economies in Africa, to look at where the demand is and to look at what are the hindrances to getting into those markets. So we have the products, we have the packaging, we have the supply capability, and we're ready to go. We're doing very well in North America and Europe, and we want to replicate that success in these new markets.
And during the annual general meeting, Margaret Montplaisir, a veteran of the industry, was elected chairman. It is the first time in the 50-year history of the organization that it would be headed by a woman. Barbadians accredited by the ACCA, the Association of Chartered Certified Accountants, now have a stamp of approval from the Barbados Accreditation Council. The news came as the Council presented a certificate of recognition to the ACCA this morning at the BAC's headquarters. The recognition also comes as the BAC prepares to roll out a new national qualifications framework in coming months, and that's according to Executive Director Lisa Gale.
We have a deadline of September of 2023 before we go back to the Ministry of Education, before they go back to the Cabinet, and before the Cabinet signs it off so that the CPC can make sure they put the last piece of information in legislation, and we are working towards advancing our national framework. The renewal of recognition of the ACCA signifies that this organization has successfully maintained the conditions under which it was granted initial recognition by the Council for Awarding Bodies. And to this end, learners and other stakeholders in tertiary education and training can be assured that they have access to a qualification from an organization that is recognized nationally and internationally.
The move for the BAC to certify the ACCA also makes a stronger case for those with the accreditation seeking employment in several areas. ACCA President Joseph Olabi believes it will also give local employers a greater level of confidence.
The external regulation for ACCA's qualification provides stakeholder assurance. And it's not just our members, our students, but they work for all of these organizations. The Ministry of Finance were there yesterday, the Office of the Auditor General, the Accountant General, Treasury. These are places our people work. It provides the employers, governments, corporates alike, the confidence that these professionals have gone through the highest level of scrutiny, and that the qualification itself has the full rigor that they would expect.
Well, that's our time tonight. Thank you for yours. I'm Pearson Bowen. For the crew, to all of you, good night. We will see you tomorrow.
Thanks for visiting us. Now, if you want to see more stories like this one, like and subscribe to our YouTube channel. And you can always go to cbc.bb for the latest news and current affairs.